On one side of the ring, Friedrich Nietzsche, the German philosopher with the epic mustache and even more epic ideas. He championed the will to power, a relentless, world-shaking drive to overcome, to grow, to dominate. And on the other side, Lao Tzu, the ancient, almost mythical Chinese sage. His core teaching was Wu Wei, effortless action, the art of letting go, of flowing with the current. Force versus flow, striving versus surrendering. These two philosophies seem like polar opposites, separated by centuries and continents. So how is it possible that these two masters were pointing to the exact same peak on the mountain of human achievement? Stay with me. The answer will change how you see success forever. First, let's get Nietzsche right, because most people get him completely wrong. When you hear will to power, your mind probably jumps to tyrants, dictators, and brute force, oppression and control. But that's a dangerous and shallow misinterpretation. Nietzsche's will to power isn't about dominating others. It's about dominating yourself. It is the fundamental driving force inside every living thing. The intrinsic urge to expand, to grow, to overcome obstacles, and to express its fullest nature. Think of a tiny seed. It has a will to power. It pushes through yards of dark, heavy soil, breaking through concrete if it has to, just to reach the sunlight. It's not evil. It's not malicious. It's just expressing its core drive to become what it is meant to be, a tree. Think of an artist staring at a blank canvas, filled with a burning desire to bring an image to life. They fight their own doubts. They struggle with the paint. They work for hours, days, weeks. That frustration, that drive to perfect their craft, that is the will to power. It's the scientist's hunger for discovery, the athlete's relentless training, the entrepreneur's ambition to build something from nothing. It is a constant, life-affirming process of overcoming resistance, both internal and external. It is the engine of all progress, all creativity, all greatness. And for Nietzsche, the goal of this internal struggle was to become the Übermensch, or the overman. A person who has overcome their limitations, mastered their impulses, and creates their own values instead of just following the herd. They are the masters of their own destiny. But there's a catch, isn't there? This sounds exhausting. A life of constant striving, constant pushing, endlessly rolling a boulder up a hill. It can lead to burnout, to frustration, to a sense of fighting the entire world. What if your will to power just leads you to break? This is where our story takes a sharp turn to the east. Enter Lao Tzu and Wu Wei. It's often translated as non-action or inaction, which sounds lazy, like sitting on a couch and letting life happen to you. But just like with Nietzsche, this is a profound misunderstanding. Wu Wei is not about doing nothing. It's about effortless action. The end of struggle, of resistance, of that frantic striving against the nature of things. It's action that arises spontaneously from a place of deep alignment. Imagine a master calligrapher. Her brush seems to dance across the paper. The ink flows. The character appears perfect and alive. Is she doing nothing? No, she's performing a highly skilled action. But for her, it feels like nothing. It's effortless. That is Wu Wei. The classic Taoist analogy is a boatman navigating a fast-moving river. The foolish boatman tries to paddle directly against the powerful current. He strains, he sweats, he fights with all his might, and he gets nowhere. He exhausts himself. He is all effort, no effect. He achieves this by aligning with the Tao, the natural order of the universe, the way things are. Wu Wei is the art of getting out of your own way, letting this natural power flow through you. It's the grace of bamboo bending in a hurricane, while the rigid oak snaps. This sounds wonderful, serene, peaceful, but then what about ambition? What about changing the world? How can you achieve anything truly great by just going with the flow? It seems to completely contradict Nietzsche's call for struggle and self-overcoming. Or does it? This is the heart of the mystery, the bridge. Will to power and Wu Wei are not opposites. They are two stages of the same process. They are two sides of the coin of mastery. One is the journey, the other is the destination. Think about anyone who has achieved true mastery in any field. A chess grandmaster, a legendary guitarist, a brilliant surgeon, a world-class coder. How did they get there? And what does it look like when they perform? First comes the Nietzschean phase, the grind, the struggle, the intense application of the will to power. The guitarist spent 10,000 hours in their bedroom, fingers bleeding, forcing themselves to learn scales and theory. They were not going with the flow. They were fighting their own clumsiness, ignorance, and desire to quit. The surgeon spent years in grueling study, memorizing every bone and nerve, practicing sutures until her hands ached. The coder battled with bugs, learned complex languages, and pushed through immense mental blocks. This phase is essential. It is the fire that forges the steel. You cannot skip this step. This is deliberate practice. It's often painful. It's conscious, analytical, and full of effort. You are literally rewiring your brain, carving new neural pathways through sheer force of will. You are overcoming your past self to become a future, more capable self. It's pure, unadulterated will to power. But then, after all that struggle, after all that striving, something magical happens. A threshold is crossed. The conscious effort, the internal battle begins to fade away. The skills become so deeply ingrained that they become second nature. They become a part of you. And this is where the state of Wu Wei emerges. The guitarist walks on stage and the music just flows out. They are not thinking, put my finger here, play a G chord now. Their hands just know what to do. The conscious mind, the part that struggled so hard, gets out of the way. Pure, effortless expression takes over. The surgeon in a complex operation is not reciting a textbook. They are moving with intuitive grace, responding to the situation in real time. They are in a state of flow. The chess grandmaster doesn't analyze every move. They simply see the right one. It's action without an actor. The relentless will to power, the drive to master the self, is the very thing that builds the vessel. But once the vessel is built, you must let go and allow the river of the Tao to flow through it. The struggle was necessary to transcend the need for struggle. So you see, Nietzsche's will to power isn't the enemy of Wu Wei. It's the engine that gets you there. It's the rocket that breaks you through the atmosphere of conscious incompetence, so you can finally float in the effortless orbit of unconscious mastery. The true Übermensch, the master of themselves, isn't someone constantly gritting their teeth. They have overcome themselves so completely that their will is no longer in conflict with the world. Their will has become so refined and attuned that it moves in perfect harmony with the Tao. Their power is expressed not as force, but as grace. Okay, that's the theory. A beautiful idea. But how do we actually use this in our own lives? How do we walk this paradoxical path of striving and surrender without getting confused? It breaks down into a kind of dance. Step 1 is the Nietzschean phase, embrace the struggle. You must consciously choose your mountain. What skill, what project, what aspect of yourself do you want to master? Be clear about it. This is your chosen battle. This is the focus for your will to power. And you must accept that the beginning will be all effort. Don't resist the difficulty. Don't wish it were easier. As Nietzsche would say, practice amor fati, love your fate. Love the challenge, the frustration, the slow progress. This is the necessary fire. Do the reps. Read the books. Put in the hours. Build your foundation with discipline and force of will. Step 2 is the Taoist phase. Practice letting go. As you build competence, you must consciously practice releasing your white-knuckle grip on the outcome. During your performance, your creative moment, trust the skills you've built. Get your ego out of the way. Stop overthinking. Look for the current. In any situation, there are paths of high resistance and paths of low resistance. Wu Wei is the wisdom to see the difference. It's not about giving up on your goal, but about finding the most intelligent, efficient, and harmonious path toward it. Be firm in your destination, but flexible in your route. Step 3 is the synthesis, the dance. Life becomes a rhythm between these two states. Intense, focused, Nietzschean effort during your periods of practice and learning. Then relaxed, intuitive, Taoist flow during your periods of performance and application. It's a cycle. You grind to reach a new plateau, then you learn to flow on that plateau before beginning the next climb. Think of a professional boxer. Their training camp is pure Nietzsche, brutal, disciplined, pushing past limits. But in the ring, the greatest fighters are relaxed. They flow. They react intuitively. They are practicing Wu Wei, powered by a foundation of relentless will to power. Effort in preparation, effortlessness in performance. So the ultimate expression of power is a paradox. It's not just about pushing harder, and it's not just about letting go. It's about the wisdom to know when to do which. It's about earning your effortlessness. The struggle gives you the skill. The surrender allows you to express it. The greatest power isn't forcing your will onto the world. It's refining your will, your skills, your very being, until it aligns so perfectly with the flow of reality that your desires are achieved naturally, effortlessly, beautifully. You don't have to force the lock when you've become the key. Nietzsche gives us the why, the burning inner fire for growth, the will to power that drives us to become more. And Lao Tzu gives us the how, the ultimate technique of Wu Wei, the state of masterful flow that is the highest expression of that power. In the end, the Übermensch doesn't just climb the mountain. Through a lifetime of striving and surrender, they have overcome themselves so completely that they move with the grace and power of nature itself. They have become the mountain. So the next time you feel stuck, pushing against a wall with all your might, just stop for a second and ask yourself a different question. What if the answer wasn't to push harder? What if the ultimate expression of power was about not fighting at all?